I've got one in the onion bag. Imagine it's like a 30-pound pike and it just has me. Look, it's right, I could literally grab it. I could net that. Whoa, he was gone. Come on, yes. Good morning everyone, from my brand new bivvy. If you can guess what I've got, I mean I'll show you in a minute, but if you can guess what bivvy I've got. I've wanted one for ages and I'm super happy with it and I absolutely love it. The Fox Easy Shelter Plus has been amazing to me all summer, but we're into September now, and although saying that, the next couple of days are meant to be really warm, but the next couple of days we are here at the Chichester complex and we're fishing on West Lake. Now, I've seen videos on this place before. I've seen people fish it. I've seen some of the fish out of it. And yeah, we're here for the next 2 days. I did arrive last night. But actually, by the time that I got the rods out, got sorted, I had a bit of a nightmare sort of like setting up really. Do you know when you come to a lake and you sort of set up and you have a bit of a nightmare? Everything just takes ages. I knocked over my tackle box and everything went all over the floor. Then I knocked over my lead pouch, all the leads went over the floor. I mean, I obviously cast out, trying to find spots. I chucked a lead out, trying to find the sort of clear spots because it is quite weedy out there. Managed to find my spot, and then my casting was just off. It just was off. I've sent out a couple of spots, just way off. Yeah, I don't know. I just had one of those sessions, so I thought, you know what? By that time it was dark and I thought I'll leave all 3 rods out as they are and I'll redo them really early when it's sort of like when the light comes up. So it is getting lighter now, so I am going to redo all 3 rods, and because of the weed I will chuck out my marker lead again just to make sure, but because of the low-lying weed I might put out 3 solid bags. I don't know, but yeah, that's where I'm at, that's what I'm doing, and I'll update you once I've got all 3 rods out. Look at this pike down here. Look, I was just in the water with it. You can see its fin sticking out. It looks like a really small, like a leaf or a twig sticking out, but it's actually a pike. And every now and then, he's obviously just sitting waiting in the weed, and then every now and then you just see him scamper. He wants his breakfast, and he obviously sees his prey, and he goes for it. Oh, this isn't good news. The swan's coming over. Didn't see him yesterday. Okay, so we've got 2 pike, a swan, and now there's a, oh god, it's all going on here, guys. We've got everything in the swim apart from what we want, which is fish. Okay, I've got to get my line down. Is he going to eat the pike? He's gone straight over the top of the pike. The pike did not bat an eyelid. Right, I need to get my rod tips down, guys, because I know what's going to happen here. Here we go then. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. And all 3 rods, I have redone them all. They're all back out. They're all on the same spot. Last night I did chuck 2 out towards the spot I've got over there. And then the left-hand one was in the margin because when I turned up, something was splashed in the margin. But I haven't seen what I saw this morning. I think it might have been a pike because where my rod tips are, just beyond that, there's a little bit of a weed bed. And it goes out about 2 rod lengths. And then, so it's like a, yeah, where that swan is now is like a weed bed. He's obviously eating the weed or whatever's in the weed. So if I do hook up, I've got my waders. I'm going to get out past that weed bed and play and land the fish. So over, if you look over there, there's a pylon or like a telephone mast, or whatever it is, a wire, a post, whatever. That's actually an island, and just to the right of that there's another one. I don't know if you can see it behind there, but between there and that tree, there's a tree. I don't know if you can see the tree in the margin. That's a gravel bar, or a gravel patch right there at 15.5 wraps. The gravel is actually from 16 to 15 wraps, so I'm in and around that area. Although what I would say is the spomming out there was beautiful this morning. I hit everyone bang straight out there, super happy with that. I actually took a rod length off it. I actually clipped up to 14.5 wraps, and I stood a rod length in the water, so I was closer to the spot. The only thing is, I would say is, I chucked a stiff hinge rig out with a little pink, washed out pink pop-up from Parker Basin, OG Fish one. Just had a bite, or a liner. That's on a solid bag with an orange magic bean. So I've got 2 on solid bags, 1 on a stiff hinge with a washed out pink OG Fish pop-up. What I was going to say is the OG Fish pop-up on the stiff hinge, bang, I cast it out straight on the spot, hit the clip, perfect. In fact, I overhit it and it bounced back, so I redid that. The 2 solid bags, I didn't quite hit the clip. It's something that I need to practice and get used to. I'm going to leave them for a couple of hours. That's like literally that one's just had a liner on it and it's not on the spot. But again, like I always say, the good thing about a solid bag is if you do mess up, or if you're not as accurate as you want to be, which I wasn't, I know still that my bait's out there with a load of bait around the hook bait. So even though I have not hit it where I want it, it's still got bait around the hook bait, so there's a chance it could go. So like I say, I'm going to leave them for a couple of hours, but I need to practice my solid bag casting, because I just can't, I don't know what it is, for some reason I can't cast a solid bag as far as I can a normal rig. But what I am going to do is probably switch one over onto a D rig, so that I know I can fish at least 2 rods out on that spot. And then if I do mess up a solid bag, then at least I've still got 2 on the spot and not just 1 like I have now. But the rods are quite tight. One more thing as well is I don't really know much about this lake. This is Westlake on the Chichester complex. Now, it's quite a big lake. It's got 16 swims, and I was advised to come and give it a go. Basically, come and give it a whirl. There's some nice fish in here, and apparently they run to over 40 pound. There's a couple in there over 40 pound, and there's a few 30s in there, a good head of 20s. So we've come down to give it a go. We're going to learn as we go. Thanks to everybody that voted on the poll as to where I should fish next, Linear or Chichester. I know everybody voted Linear, but I would say is I've just done Linear, and I've got another trip coming up to Linear in the next month or so. So there will be content from Linear. I just wanted to try something new, something different, and hopefully, even if we don't catch, I enjoy it enough to come back, which I'm sure I will, because already I'm thinking about coming back and doing more, going to different swims. That's another thing as well. Sorry to waffle on a little bit, guys, but I have seen, from what I know of this lake, which is very little, I've seen a couple of people doing videos, and they're fishing in pegs 1 and 2 over there, or 1, 2 and 3, that sort of area over there. And that's where I wanted to go. But when I went round there was people in it. My mate that fishes down here, he fishes down on peg 15 and 16, which is around that corner over there. But I don't know, for some reason I decided to fish here. There was a couple of reasons why. The wind was blowing right down into my face, for one. Secondly, I was a bit lazy, and I didn't really want to walk all the way round to that swim because it's quite a trek. And thirdly, I just got an instinct. Sometimes you go to a new venue, don't you, and you look at a swim or a lake, and you look at a lake and you get to a swim and you have a good feeling about a certain swim. And I had a good feeling about this swim, so that's why I'm here. Again, like I say, it's quite local to me, so I will be back here, I'd imagine. I will be trying different areas, pegs 1, 2, 15, 16. But I think right now I'm on 9 or 10. I'll put the map on the screen so you guys can see it. But that's where we are, that's what we're doing. So all we can do is try. We've got 3 rods out. We've got our ticket for the raffle. We just hope that we can now win one of the prizes. And look, I did mention it, but I have got a Fox Frontier, guys. I've got the Vapor Peak, but I haven't put it on. Like I say, last night it was quite dark when I set it all up. I tried putting it down here so I was closer to the rods, but it wouldn't fit, which is not ideal because there's a massive step to get in and out the bivvy, which I was thinking last night, if it goes off, I'm probably going to fall out and go flat on my face, but it is what it is. Yeah, we got the Fox Frontier, and I got a really good deal on it. I got it for a super good price. I wouldn't usually go for the camo. You guys know I'm not really a sort of tackle tart or like a, I'm not too much of like a sort of camo kind of guy, but I got a really good offer on this one, so it's the first time I'm using it. Spent my first night in it last night, and I'm actually really impressed. I probably will do some sort of like review or something on it at some point. I know somebody wanted me to do a review on my alarms and stuff as well, so there's a few things I've got to sort of touch on and go into a little bit, which I will do, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you want to see that, and also do subscribe because September I've got some really big trips coming up, and quite a lot of them as well. September's going to be a very, very good fishing month, so yeah, I've got a lot planned. I also think Big Red might be out in September, so keep your eyes peeled for some more episodes of the hunt for Big Red. So here's what I've been spotting out then. It is a mixture of fruit and nut and OG fish, and they have been hit with the sauce and the flat spot in cotton, well, in different flavours. And I've also got, basically some of them are like 18 mils chopped up, and some of them are just 14 mils whole, and obviously added the sweet corn in as well. But they've got the fruity flat spot and the fruit and nut sauce on as well. So yeah, there it is. Right, well, a quick update on the food. I haven't got the Kadak with me today because I didn't want to carry extra stuff. I just bought the gas burner, but I bought these. These are bacon and cheese wraps. Now, they look lovely, but I had a bit of a nightmare getting them out because I think they're meant to be frozen. That is the pastry all stuck to the box. So I've managed to put them in the Ridge Monkey. I'm hoping and praying that they're not going to stick to the Ridge Monkey, but I'm not too confident. Oh gosh. And I haven't got any, like, I don't even think I've got a fork with me. I don't know how I'm going to, like, unstick them. Wish me luck. Well, I've just Googled to see if you were allowed to eat raw bacon, and it's a resounding no. Here's how it looks. I mean, it's definitely burnt. I don't think the bacon's done. Well, here's the other side. It looks like, it kind of looks like a, you know when you make your first pancake and it always goes wrong? I don't know where the bacon is, but there's some bacon and cheese in there somewhere, but it just looks like burnt pastry to me. Burnt on one side and not as burnt on the other side. This is the side that isn't as burnt. Ah, do I eat it or not? Do I fancy food poisoning? 25 minutes in an oven or 5 minutes in a Ridge Monkey. I turned it down. I turned it right down so that it would, but I think it was too late. Sean is going to be so disappointed in me. Well, I've had half of it, but I wasn't too sure, and I'm definitely left the worst of it. Look at the state of that. I've got to be careful where I chuck it because there was loads of rats running around last night. Well, the most bizarre thing has just happened. I've got the waders on because I've been in the water to net my fish. I've got one in the onion bag. I'm so happy. It's my first blood from this water. It's paid off. We've not had a sniff the whole time we've been here. The reason why it was crazy is because I was literally, I've got the two solid bag rods. They were both out, but they weren't over the spot. They were short of the spot. And like I said, there's a chance that you could still pick up a fish even though you've not hit your spot. The middle rod is on the spot. So I thought, right, I'm going to leave the middle rod on the spot. I'm going to pick up my left hand, right hand rod and redo them get them on that spot, maybe take the PVA bags off and chuck out D-rigs. So I've picked up my left hand rod and I'm reeling it in. It's halfway in, and all of a sudden the right hand rod like goes off, screams off, and I'm thinking that's mental, because if I'd have picked up the right hand rod first, I wouldn't have landed it. I wouldn't have caught the fish. But yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Come on. So there we go. Look, it's a bit of a mess. Like I say, the left hand rod was halfway in. The right hand rod, which I caught the fish on, is now in. The middle rod's still out. But yeah, look. I don't know if you can see him. I don't want to disturb him too much. I've got the hook out for him. I'm going to weigh him up. I think he might be a mid-double. Well, here we go then. First blood and first fish from Westlake at the Chichester complex. He's bigger than I first thought, actually. I've weighed him up. He's 18 pounds 6 ounces. Look at that. What a lovely common. Beautiful. I get some pictures with him, and then I get some pictures in the water with him as well. Look at that. Lovely. Happy days. You have made me a happy man. And there we have it. The Parker Baits solid bag with the OG mini mix and the OG fruit and nut. Sorry, the OG fish magic bean in orange. My first fish on the magic bean, actually. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much. Go and fight another day. Come on, yes! Right, well, after all that, one thing I did forget to mention as well was Tom rang me twice, but I was in and out of sleep because I didn't sleep much last night because I've been on nights. I was awake at like 2-3 o'clock yesterday. Let's try and have a video where we don't talk about work. I mean, I've already failed that. But anyway, the point I was getting at was Tom phoned me twice and I didn't answer because I was in and out of sleep. And then I phoned him and he didn't answer. And then literally 2 minutes later, I got out my bivvy, started reeling in, and that's when that happened. But it's mental because I've not seen any signs, apart from the pike in the margins, in the weeds. I've not seen any signs of fish. Like even over the other side of the lake, like from where I'm looking, I've been watching the water. And I've not seen fish jumping, boshing, like showing themselves at all. So I'm hoping there's more where that came from. I know there's fish. Well, there's obviously a fish in the area. Caught it. But I'm hoping there's more. Look at this pike, look. That's where I've just been stood with that fish. It's obviously, I've obviously stirred up the weed and the food and the weed. And he's obviously seen the disturbance. He's come over to have a look. But look, it's crazy. I bet pike fishing in here is nuts. Look at him. He's just hovering in the weed, waiting to see any little like prey going past, any little silverfish. He's just waiting. He's going to attack. It's mental though, isn't it? They're not scared. I was literally stood in there a minute ago, and he's come over. It's quite scary, really. He could have had my leg off. Mental. I'm tempted to go out there and see if I can like get close to it. It's only a little one. It's a jack pike. Bugger it, let's get in there. He's not moving. How close can I get to it before he spooks, do you reckon? Now he's my prey now. Look, he's getting lower in the water. Imagine it's like a 30-pound pike and it just has me. Look, it's right, I could literally grab it. I could net that. I'm not going to, but doesn't care. Right, I'm just going to lift my foot up underneath it. I'm not going to kick it, guys. I'm just going to lift my foot up on the weeds underneath it. Whoa! He was gone. Oh, I better get out before he has my leg off. Right, well, I did decide to put a D-rig on. So there we go. There's the setup. Sorry for it swinging so much there, guys, but that is a yellow magic bean wafter on a D-rig. It's not focusing. With a kicker and a stiff boom. We've got some rig tubing on there as well. So on the right hand rod here, we have got a solid bag rig, just as a single, like without the bag. What I'm going to do is I've chucked that onto the spot. The middle rod is on a stiff hinge with a washed out pink pop-up. And that is also on the spot. And I'm going to put this D-rig now with a yellow magic bean wafter on the spot as well. Once I've got that one out, I'm going to spot another 5 to 8 spoms over the top, depending on accuracy. And hopefully that can infuse another bite. Billy has done his job. Well, since my journey of carp fishing, I've just been catching absolute clonkers, and I absolutely love it. And I would still at this stage of my fishing career class that as a clonker. It's a high double, beautiful looking common. And I recognise that fish. I'm pretty sure it's been out before. I've seen it on YouTube. I'll see if I can dig it out. If I can, I'll put it on screen now. If not, then it must have been another fish. But I thought it was the same one. One thing I would say, if there's one thing in my fishing that I need to improve, it's my casting, my spomming. I'm okay when I'm chucking out a rig with a bait on, but if I put a solid bag on or my spom, then I struggle with my casting. So I need to really try and practice that and make sure I get it on point, because I think if I can get my spodding on point, then I think it'll improve my fishing massively. Well, I just had a bit of movement on the left hand rod. It was beeping away. It beeped 3 or 4 times. I'm wondering if I've got fish moving over the spot. I say I've just spommed out about 7 or 8 spoms over the top of that spot that I've got all 3 rods on. And that's a D-rig with the yellow wafter that I've just put on. That'd be good if that goes. That's been out for about 5 minutes. Well, I've just seen my first showing sign of fish, and it came up. It was probably about 15 laugh wraps where I am, so it's probably the same sort of distance out. But it wasn't over my spot. My spot's over here, and it came out around here, which is interesting. But yeah, I'm going to keep my eyes peeled, and if I see any more movement of anything coming out here again, I'm going to wrap up a solid bag and get it out there. And again, the reason why I would put a solid bag out there as opposed to like a D-rig or a stiff hinge, maybe not so much a stiff hinge would be all right, but I'm pretty sure there's either silt or like a low-lying weed out there just from chucking the lead out there when I first got here. The spot that I'm on, it's so gravelly. It's like you can, I mean, I'm new to carp angling still relatively, but I can tell the difference. Even though I struggle to find a donk when I cast out, what I do find is when I'm dragging my lead back, I've got this lead with the little prongs on it. So what happens is the lead goes down, and obviously you drag it along the bottom of the bottom of the lake bed, and you can feel how like gravelly it is, and you get a little bit more resistance when it comes off the gravel, and that's either silt or like a low-lying weed. But yeah, it's mental. So I was just talking to some guy that fishes up here quite often actually, and he always says when he finds gravel spots, he fishes slightly off it onto the silt. So that's interesting. But I tell you what that does mean is that because my casting's not been so great, that I'm casting out to that gravel spot that I found, I'm actually probably fishing on the edge of it anyway. I'm not, I'm pretty sure I'm over it. But yeah, that's interesting that he said that. So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled, and if I see any more movement off the spot, you know, repetitive carp moving over the same areas, then I'm definitely going to chuck a solid bag over to it. It is absolutely sweltering. I'm so glad that I've got some shade and a little bit of wind that's trickling down into the swim again, which is good because the wind was doing this yesterday. It's doing it again today. I've just had a single beep. The coots were diving down on my spot earlier, so that wasn't fun. But yeah, I really need to try and get some sleep, and I don't think I will be. It's meant to be 27 tomorrow. How am I going to sleep when it's this hot? Well, I've been told by several passers-by, and I know you shouldn't always listen exactly to what the passers-by say, but I'm guessing the locals know a lot more about this than I do, and I've heard on more than one occasion that it's quite shallow up this end of the lake, and when it's really hot, the fish come into this bay to spawn. So obviously the weather's really warm, and it's shallow here, and with the wind trickling down as well, I'm wondering if it's bringing the fish up here, because I did just see in that sort of shadow line there a fish just cruising with his back out the water. So I've reeled in my right hand rod and chucked it a single straight on its head. I didn't have time to put another bag on. I literally just reeled it in and chucked it on its head. So if that one goes now, that'll be a quality bit of angling. But yeah, I just need to get his head down. I mean, I know it's only sort of 5 foot, but it's still, you know, sometimes carp, when it's hot like this, they're not interested in feeding. They like just sort of cruising around the surface, but unfortunately you can't use zigs here, which is a shame. Right, well, I've got a little confession to make. That right hand rod that I threw that single out to that showing fish over there, I actually reeled that in, tied up another solid bag with an orange OG fish wafter on, the magic bean, and sent it back out onto the spot. And guess what? The right hand rod's just gone off again. It screamed off, but it came in quite easily. And it is because I've gone and caught a small tench. I say small, it's, in terms of carp, it's small. In terms of tench, what is it, probably about £4. Quite a nice tench. That is the kind of tench that I would love when I'm pole fishing. You used to love catching them. But I'm not gonna weigh it. I'm not gonna put it in the sling. I'm gonna leave it in the net. I'm gonna jump in the water with it and I'm gonna release it. I'm gonna show you guys before I let it go. But that goes to show you, doesn't it? That's 2 fish now on the orange magic bean in a solid bag. So I think they're all going out on solid bags tonight. That stiff hinge has done absolutely nothing. And here it is, and it's quite a, I don't think it's going to let me hold it out for a photo. Doesn't want to be on YouTube, does it? But here it is. Nice bar of green. Don't know if you can see it, matching with my clothes. But yeah, there you go. Nice little Dame Judy. Second fish, first tench of Chichester. Thank you very much for gracing the net. When he's ready, he's going to head on back to where I caught him from. Not as much slime as Breen, but still a little bit of slime. Anyway, that interrupted me. I was watching the Arsenal Man United game. But I don't mind that. Like I said, I'd much rather catch them than Breen. And the fact that it was about, probably it was about £3 or £4. I don't mind that at all. Happy days. Well, this is typical. I've been waiting all day for bites. As soon as the football comes on, I'm trying to watch the football. I missed the first 2 goals because of a tench. Second half starts, bailiff comes round, talking to the bailiff. That's fine, no problem at all. We had a nice chat, seems like a nice bloke. And as I'm stood here talking to him, right hand rod, the bobbin goes up and down, and the alarm goes dud, 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 and I just goes to him, I goes, that's a tench bite if ever I've seen it. He was like, yeah, it's a tench bite. So I've reeled it in and I've just netted it. I've got another tench, not as big as the other one, but I don't know. I thought maybe solid bags with the orange magic bean was the way to go. I've had 1 carp. I mean, it is the way to go. It's what's catching fish, but I've had 1 carp and I've had 2 tench on it now. I don't really want the tench. It's nice to catch them, but I've had a couple now. Don't want any more tench. Give me a carp. So here it is, second tench. Probably about £2 this one. Like I say, not as big as the first one, but there you go. It's another fish. That takes me to 3 overall now. Loving the magic beans. Just holding it here, waiting for it to get its breath back. They come in quite easy, so. Well, I can only apologise for that last clip. I was letting that tench go, filming it, and my alarm went off. That's my alarm for when I go to work on night shift. What's the #1 rule of the SCA videos now? Don't mention work. Oh, but yeah, there we go. It's probably about £2. I'm probably going to do the same again. It's weird how both my fish have come on the right. No, 3. I've had 3 fish. All 3 have come on the right hand rod, which is strange, but yeah, interesting. But yeah, I'm going to get it back on another solid bag, another orange magic bean. Because yes, I mean, it is catching tench, but it did also catch the carp, and at the moment, that seems to be the only thing that's working. I know I should have put my rod out until the end of the football. Honestly, I caught that tench, put my rod back out. I thought, right, there's about 6 minutes left of injury time in the Arsenal Man United game. About a minute after I put the rod back out, it goes off again. I missed the Declan Rice goal. Ah, what a joke. I missed every single goal in this game because I've been catching tench. The tench have moved in on the spot. I've now had 3 tench and 1 carp. He's still in the net because I just wanted to see the ending of the game. I've got to show you him because there's another fish. But it is getting a little bit annoying now. Right, well, I'm just going to put this one back in the net. There's the orange magic bean. And here's tench number 3. Looks very similar to the other two, to be honest. You're probably thinking I'm just catching the same one and just playing it so it looks like I'm catching loads of fish, but trust me, I'm not. You gonna go? There he goes. There we go, 3 tench, 1 carp. There you go, fish. Magic bean wafter, there's a freebie for you. Oh, come on, the carp. So in order to try and get through the tench, I've spawned out a load more bait, hoping that the carp will find it and move in on it. Only problem is, I'm very likely now to catch a swan. Oh, I need that swan to move off. Not just because it's wiping me out all the bait I've just put in, but also I don't want to hook it. Oh, he left me alone all day, and he's come back this evening. This time last night he was here. He left me all day, and he's back now. But it is a beautiful evening. Look at this. Sun's going down over there. Right, well now it's time for a quick shout out to Dave, because Dave actually showed me what to do. Look at this, for some food on the bank, some snacks. Let's whip it over and I'll show you. Oh, we have got ham and cheese toasty. Look at that, ham and cheese toasty. All you do is prepare it at home. You get a loaf. Let me take that off before it burns. You get a loaf like that, add ham and cheese to it, put it all back in, and then you just take it out one at a time when you want the toasty, whip it in there, and off you go. And for dessert, who remembers these? BNs, chocolate BNs. And I've got an apple turnover from Lidl. And the best part about this, guys, is it's so quick and easy, and look, creates zero mess. Let's get that. I've got a bit of cheese on my towel. Look, forgot my plate, but yeah, we had a bit of a mishap with breakfast earlier, didn't we? So time to tuck into some ham and cheese toasties. I don't mind if I do. Right, well, we are going into the last night now. I've got to be off tomorrow. So I'm booked until 6 PM, but I think I'm going to be leaving around midday, 1 o'clock. I need to get home and get some sleep, really. But I'm going to turn the camera around and let you see this sunset, because it is absolutely stunning. The colours in the sky and the view that I'm looking at here, it reminds me of why I go fishing. This is absolutely stunning. Look at this. Well, the camera does not do it justice. I mean, it looks great on the camera, but to see it in real life, the colours are insane. Absolute beautiful sunset. And like I say, sometimes when I come fish, it's not all about catching fish. Being outdoors and seeing nature like this, absolutely stunning. Look at it. Unbelievable. Guys, we've got a tench on board. We've got a tench on board. Right hand rod again. Oh, I'll let you see this one. All right, I'm coming. Maybe not. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. My rod was going. It was a very tenchy bite. Picked the rod up and there was nothing there. So I'm going to whip it back out. I'm not going to put another bag on because I need a good night's sleep tonight. So if I don't get... I know it sounds ridiculous because I've come here fishing. I'm trying to catch fish. But honestly, I need to get to sleep. So I'm going to chuck this back out as a single. And yeah, I probably could do more. But I'm being a bit lazy, let's be honest. Look, listen, this is the real... I told you, this channel is real. And I'd imagine a lot of us do this. A little bit lazy. Probably should put a bag on, but I need to get to sleep. So if it goes off, it goes off. If it doesn't, get a good night's sleep. It's a win-win. Well, good morning guys. It is now Monday morning. I managed to get a few hours sleep in. I think I was awake for like about 35 hours, which was insane because I was so tired. Do you know when you're overtired? I was so tired that I didn't feel tired. But yeah, I've had a few hours sleep. Oh, it's about 8:30 now. We didn't have anything in the night. We had a couple of liners on the right hand rod. It's really interesting that the right hand rod's the one that's done all the work since I've been here. Literally the left hand and the middle rod, they've just not really done anything. We had a little bit of a sniff on the middle rod yesterday, but yeah, it's strange. It is weird. Listen, we're booked on till 6 p.m. today. I don't think I'm going to stay till 6 p.m. I think in the next couple of hours I'm going to start making a slow pack down. Probably be off about midday, 1 o'clock. I just want to get home and get sorted before I got things to do later. So yeah, that's just the way it is. I mean, look, we've had 1 carp and 3 tench. Now, I would have liked another couple of carp, to be honest with you. I mean, being here on a 48 hours, I'd like to think I could have done 2 or 3 carp, but it's the first time I've been here, and you know, I'm making a habit of going to a new venue and catching carp. At Limbrick, we went, you know, at Limbrick, we'd never been there before and I caught a carp. I've come here, I've never been here before and I've caught a carp. So it's good, at least I'm catching. You know, I went to Orchid for a 48 and a blanked. I went to Big Hayes for a 48 and a blanked. So to come here for a 48 and have 4 fish, admittedly only 1 carp, like I said, it would have been nice to have a couple, but we've caught one. And again, I know it sounds very cliche, but just fishing is not all about catching fish. I mean, that sunset last night was beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and it's just nice to get away and have a bit of a break. But it would, listen, it would be lovely to nick one more before we go. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It is what it is. But yeah, there we go. It's a new venue, and onwards and upwards, I guess. Right, well, I just thought, because I want another carp before I go, I wasn't just going to sit behind the rods and wait and leave them. I was going to try and make something happen. So I've done exactly what I did yesterday. I've spommed out. Now, I put out about 7 or 8 spoms, I think, yesterday, but today I've gone with a little bit more. Look at the flat spot coming up. Look at this. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, you can. Look at that flat spot there. Mental, isn't it? It's absolutely mega. I cast it towards that tree, and obviously because the wind's blowing that way, it blows the like oils through the water, and that's why the flat spot's sort of like drifting over that way. But it's mental, isn't it? But yeah, as I was spomming out, I was planning on putting 6, 7, 8 spoms out, but the birds, honestly, there was so many of them. Swans, coots, just went straight over, started diving, obviously wanted a bit of breakfast, so I put out another couple of spoms over the top just to make sure there was enough bait in there. So I spotted out about 10, well, I did spot out 10 spoms. The left-hand one was on that D-rig. I reeled that in and the bait had been chewed, so I'm guessing there is some sort of like crayfish, or maybe it's just tiny silvers attacking it. But yeah, I put on a fresh yellow magic bean on that D-rig, cast that out, went out lovely. Middle rod, reeled it in, and actually I'd been done. You know, I said I had a bit of had a little bit of a knock on my middle rod last night. It actually done me. So what I should have done at that point was reeled it in, but obviously it's been out all night with nothing on, so I've reeled that in, done another solid bag on that, sent that out, hit clip perfectly. It's the best cast I've done since I've been here. And then the right hand rod I've not done yet, but I was going to show you, you know I said about the bait being nibbled, like maybe crays or little fish. I'm going to show you how it's come back, because it's a great example on this rod of what's happened to the bait out there. So again, it was a solid bag rig, but look at this. I don't know if you can see this. The lighting's not great. There's too much sun now. But yeah, I don't know if you can see that. That's been whittled right down. Look at it, it's just been chewed. I'm hoping you can see this all right. Let me stand here. Gonna focus. Yeah, look, it's just been absolutely chewed and annihilated by what either looks like crayfish or just little fish. But it's been out there for so long, it's just, that has been chewed. So I'm going to get another solid bag out, so I'll have 2 solid bags and that D-rig. Morning, Mr. Swan. I think we're friends with him now. When I first arrived, he was hissing at me, but now he comes over. I don't feed him because, God, that put me in all sorts of problems, but he's been all right. Touch wood, he's been all right. And there we go. All 3 rods out for the last time. And it was about 9:15. The bite yesterday came at about 11 o'clock, so I'm going to start packing away what I can, leave out the essentials, maybe try and get an hour or two sleep, and then see where we're at. Come on, Chichester, Westlake, give me one more carp, please. Fingers crossed. Well, there we go, bivvy's away. In fact, everything's pretty much away. I know it's still out, but it's all ready to just go bang, 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 bang on the barrow. See you later. I've managed to find some shade. I'm going to be chasing that because I know in an hour's time that's going to be hot. But I just thought, whilst it's quite breezy and not as hot, I'll pack everything away, especially the bivvy, because I don't want to be all sweaty later trying to pack away. Even though I do, there's no showers here, or not that I know of, I haven't used any. And I feel like a bit of a grubby mess. So yeah, that's it. Like I say, a couple more hours, everything's sort of packed away, so I'm just going to try and get my head down and get a couple of hours kipping. If I can, great. If not, then I'll have to try and get some sleep when I get home. But yeah, I'm not going to end this video just yet because I still feel like something might happen. I want something to happen. I hope it happens. So fingers crossed it does. If not, the next clip is going to be me with a sad face because I haven't caught anything. But listen, it's been worse. Like I say, I've done 48s where I've blanked before. I was hoping for a couple more, but first time here is what it is. Probably wouldn't fish this area of the lake again. I'd probably fish round opposite. There's another lake called East Lake and there's like a path that goes up there, so I'd probably head round that way. But yeah, I don't know, it's a learning curve, isn't it? So it is what it is. But yeah, I can't be too, I mean 4 fish in total. Yes, admittedly only 1 carp, but 4 fish. Can we be that disheartened? I don't know if we can. I think it's all right. Well, that is going to be it, guys. I'm about to reel the rods in. And I did just speak to somebody actually who was saying that it's been fishing quite hard the last couple of days because he was saying obviously weather has been so warm, and it has been, like, obviously through August it was sort of warm, but it wasn't really sunny. And in the first couple of days in September, bang, it was like 25, 26, 27 degrees. It's been like that the last couple of days, and I'm wondering if that high pressure has just switched the fish off and they're just not interested in getting their heads down and feeding. But it's interesting because I don't know if I mentioned there was a couple of lads that came around earlier, and well, say earlier, yesterday, and they were doing a 24, 11 till 11. They're just packing away now. It's funny because one of the lads asked me, he goes, what did you catch your carp on, if you don't mind me asking? And I said, oh, I had it on a solid bag. And he goes, oh, right, okay. And he sort of walked off. He came back over and he goes, sorry, mate. He goes, I haven't got any solid bags. I don't suppose I'll give you a couple of quid if you can lend me a couple of solid bags or whatever. I said, don't worry about it, mate. I said, bang, there's a whole pack of quarter solid bags there for you. And it's funny because when he come round earlier, I asked him how he's got on, and he had a 20 out and it was caught using one of the solid bags. So I was happy about that. So I made up for him. So if you do watch this, mate, well done. Happy days. And yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle, but yeah, I think they've had 1 carp, 1 tench. So there you go. Just a quick heads up, I don't know if there's going to be a video next Saturday, guys. I've got a lot going on at the moment. Nothing like serious or anything, but just quite busy. Got some home improvements going on, things like that. So I'm quite busy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out. But if I am, I'm going to try my best to try and get a video out for you next Saturday. But if I don't, then I'm sorry, just a heads up. But then beyond that, we've then got a trip to Berners Hall. We've then got a trip to Todburn Manor. And then we've got a trip to Swan Valley. And then after that, we're going back to Todburn Manor. We're doing Willow Bank and Big Haze. Oh my gosh, September is going to be awesome for fishing, and the content is going to be awesome. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of those videos. I'm sure we're going to get some bangers. I hope I haven't just jinxed that. I better touch wood now. Touch wood. But yeah, thanks for watching this one. Please like, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next Saturday. But if not, then subscribe anyway. We'll have a week off, and then, well, maybe, I don't know. I'm hoping I can get you a video out. But if I can't, then again, the content coming up is going to be awesome. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in a bit. Bish, bash, bosh.